Chris, ready?
Hit the gale and get quiet.
Bless you. Bless you. Bless you, my good son.
Good son.
On the day after the
21st, 2025 Crest Hill City Council meeting to order at 7 o'clock p.m. I would ask that everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag and please remain standing after the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with
Liberty and justice for all.
I'm sure that everyone heard about the tragedy that happened in Lithuania on March 31st. So that we as a city of Crest Hill would certainly like to offer our condolences to the family of Sergeant Jose Dunez, who was a member of the United States Army and lost his life tragically during a tactical training exercise while in Lithuania on March 31st, 2025. Sergeant Dunez lived in the city of Joliet. The funeral was last week. The Mass was actually held at the Word of Life Church in the city of Crest Hill. 3 other soldiers were killed in this training exercise, also from the United States Army. He leaves behind his parents, a wife, a 1-year-old son, and 5 sisters. So we as a city of Crest Hill certainly want to thank him for his service to our country, for his sacrifice to his family, to his country also. We want to offer our condolences to the family, and I would ask that everybody please keep the Dunez family from Joliet in your prayers. Also today, Pope Francis this morning passed away. He was 88 years old. He served the people of the Catholic faith for the last 12 years. He certainly was a global peacemaker throughout the entire world. So I ask that we keep him in his prayers, in our prayers also, because he certainly was a man dedicated his whole life to the Lord and to his holy church. So to his family, we as a city of Crest Hill want to offer our condolences on the loss of Pope Francis. So I would ask for a moment of silence for both Sergeant Jose Dunez and for Pope Francis. Thank you. Roll call, please, Chris.
Ray Solomon,
Here.
Glenn Conklin,
Present.
Scott Dyke,
Here.
Jennifer Methvin,
Here.
Darrell Jefferson,
Here.
Claudia Gazal,
Here.
Tina Oberlin,
Present.
Mark Sepiti,
Here.
Nate Albert,
Here.
and Joe Kulo.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, we have several special guests in the audience this evening, so I'd like to deviate from the agenda for our first 2 agenda items. And the first one is just to backtrack on March 17th, 2025. This City Council unanimously passed a proclamation declaring the month of March 2025 as Bleeding Disorder Awareness Month in the city of Crest Hill. We have with us tonight, we have 2 Crest Hill residents from Ward 1. We have Mrs. Jenny Moore and her 5th grade son, John Moore, who attends Cheney Manji Grade School. And I had the opportunity of meeting John at their graduation in March, and he actually won 3rd place in the poster contest throughout the entire 5th grade at Cheney Manji of some 50 students. So congratulations to him. John does suffer from this disease, so I want Jenny could not be here on March 17th, but she is here tonight, so I'd like to give her the opportunity and John to come to the podium, and they would just like to explain this disease that John has and how we can all try to help out in any way. So Jenny, John, the microphone is yours.
Thank you. First of all,
It's the one on the bottom.
Little square
this one.
Yeah.
Don't touch any of them.
Don't touch it, okay. Back on. All right, thank you. Well, thank you all. I appreciate your time, and I apologize that we could not make it on March 17th, and I feel weird with my back to all you people, so sorry. I was sick with the flu, but having the city of Crest Hill proclaim March as Bleeding Disorders Awareness Month means a lot to us. John here is part of the third generation in our family with severe hemophilia A. It is a rare disorder that affects 1 in about every 5,000 male births. There's approximately 25 to 30,000 people in the United States that have hemophilia overall. So it's very rare. The Bleeding Disorder Awareness Month was actually proclaimed initially by the Reagan administration back in the 80s. It was then just Hemophilia Awareness Month. And this was a very critical time for people who were impacted by bleeding disorders. Many of you may have been aware that the population of people with bleeding disorders was tragically hit by the AIDS epidemic because the medication that they were taking that was blood-based was actually tainted with HIV/AIDS. They did not know, so there was a huge administration change to try to make the blood supply safer for medicine. And then years later, it's a totally different ball game. We no longer have people with bleeding disorders dying from AIDS, unless it's prolonged from before. Now they're onto like a recombinant factor replacement therapy. They still have to get infusions, potentially up to 2 to 3 times a week. It's very expensive, and we're just trying to raise awareness so people are aware that there are people who are still fighting for equitable access to care, for treatment, especially women, because women are not known historically to have bleeding disorders such as hemophilia. It was thought to be a male condition. Most of the time, women are mild because they have a unaffected X to offset the affected X, because it's a X chromosomal abnormality. But anyway, so we're trying to get more people to know that if you have bleeding symptoms, prolonged nosebleeds, if you have easily bruising, if you get a surgery and you don't stop bleeding, you might want to get checked. You might have one of these bleeding disorders, not just hemophilia. There's other ones like von Willebrand and other platelet disorders out there. So I volunteer for the local bleeding disorder chapter. It's called Bleeding Disorder Alliance of Illinois. It is based out of Chicago, but we cover most of the northern Illinois. There's a southern Illinois chapter, but that's our coverage area. So if anybody is in need, just know that there's support out here. We do education and resources, and we also continue to do advocacy efforts to ensure there's equitable access to care. Johnny, do you want to say something?
Thank you guys for making March as Bleeding Disorders Awareness Month in Crest Hill.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. We appreciate you.
Awareness is very important to this disease because I was unaware of it even. Actually, maybe it was just because it was a different name. But I've learned an awful lot just from putting this all together to what we did last month. So, John, you are a fine young man. You have a bright future ahead of you. So I will now turn it over if anyone would like to make a comment from City Council.
Well, I appreciate you coming here and sharing this information with us and everybody watching. That's very, very mature of you and very nice of you, and kudos to you, young man.
Anybody?
Thank you for sharing the information and bringing it to us.
Thank you for coming and sharing. As another parent of a fifth grader over at Cheney, I've had the pleasure of meeting Johnny many times. great family, and we're very happy that everything has worked out so you can participate in sports and everything else. That's a big strides forward.
Okay. You may want to stick around for the next agenda item, John, okay? So, I mean, we have a lot of special guests in the back, a lot of our police officers and their families, and we are going to have the swearing in of a new deputy police chief this evening. So we have to take care of a little bit of business, so I'm going to ask for council's concurrence to deviate to the police department section of your agenda to number 12 and 13. And number 12 is the approval of an ordinance setting the salary for the position of deputy chief of police of patrol for the city of Crest Hill. I will turn it over to our other deputy chief, Ryan Dobsick, is going to take us through this evening and do the swearing in. Ryan?
All right, good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm seeking approval of an ordinance that will set the salary for the Patrol Deputy Chief of Police position for $136,000 for the pending appointment of David L. Revis Jr. to that position. This request is per the conversation that took place at a previous meeting with Chief Clark. So I would be seeking a motion.
So moved as presented.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderperson Oberlin, seconded by Alderwoman Gazal, to approve a resolution to approve an ordinance setting the salary for the position of Deputy Chief of Police for Patrol for the city of Crest Hill. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Scott Dyke.
Yes.
Jennifer Methvin.
Yes.
Darrell Jefferson.
Yes.
Claudia Gazal.
Yes.
Tina Oberlin.
Yes.
Mark Sepiti.
Yes.
Nate Albert.
Yes.
Joe Kubal.
Yes.
Motion carries. Ordinance 2017.
All right, I'm going to give you a quick little bio. It's not that quick, but
Oh, boy.
a little bio on Dave Revis here tonight. So David L. Revis Jr. started his career with the Crest Hill Police Department in September of 2000. During his time in patrol, Officer Revis achieved the following notable milestones. He became a certified use of force instructor, a firearms instructor, and he became a member of the Joliet SWAT, or the SOS team. Dave became Detective Revis in August of 2015, where he served on the Will Grundy Major Crimes Task Force, and he functioned as a lead investigator for several high-profile cases, in addition to all the cases that he worked as an investigator for the city of Crest Hill. Dave became Sergeant Revis in June of 2017, and in that role, among some highlights, he reviewed all the use of force reports to check compliance with policy, trained the department on the use of Narcan, managed the Narcan inventory, and reviewed all the Narcan use of force reports. Dave became the Sergeant of Investigations in October of 2021. Among his notable accomplishments in that role were the following. He conducted and supervised extensive major case investigations, including homicides, officer-involved shootings, PPP loan investigations, and he also demonstrated a commitment to transparency and community trust. He led and mentored the investigation division personnel, a CPAT investigator, while fostering a culture of accountability and excellence. And finally, he reviewed and improved comprehensive reports from officers, detectives, and sergeants in the Crest Hill Police Department, ensuring accuracy and compliance with departmental standards. One of his highlights, again, was he was assigned as a division commander in the Will Grundy County Major Crimes Task Force, where he led a division of over 100 personnel with a focus on effective response and resolution. Dave has received multiple commendations and awards over the years. He is also a multi-time Officer of the Year and Supervisor of the Year award winner. Chief Clark and I are confident that Deputy Chief Revis has the qualification and experience to be a valuable addition to the police administration team, and also excelling in the mission of protecting and serving our community with empathy and effectiveness. Okay.
I'll need you to raise your right hand and then please repeat after me. I, and then go ahead and state your name,
I, David L. Revis Jr.,
have been appointed to the office of Deputy Chief
having been appointed to the office of Deputy Chief
of police in the city of Crest Hill,
of police in the city of Crest Hill,
in the county of Will,
in the county of Will,
and the state of Illinois,
and the state of Illinois,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of Deputy Chief
the duties of the office of Deputy Chief
of Police to the best of my ability.
of police to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Whew, that was good. Thank you, Ryan. That was a lot. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, City Council. Appreciate the opportunity. I want to thank Chief Clark and Deputy Chief Dobsek for appointing me to the position as well. I'd like to thank my family and friends, and also my brothers and sisters in blue that are behind the back of the room there. Thank you for all the support. I look forward to this position. I'm excited about it. I look forward to working with all of you and serving the city of Crest Hill and the police department. A special thank you to my wife, Shelley, and my two kids who unfortunately couldn't make it tonight, Dallas and Jocelyn, as well as my in-laws who have supported me through my whole career. I guess I'll just end it with, thank you all very much. I appreciate it all. Thank you.
Thank you. Just real quick, I just want to say to Dave, you have worn many hats, both within this department and outside of the department throughout Will County. And you've been a model police officer for all of these years. But more than that, I know that you are a good person. And I have confidence in the choice that our police chief had made in you, and I supported it 110%. And I know that you are going to do a fantastic job as Deputy Chief of Patrol. So congratulations to you, and thank you for all your years of service to the city of Crest Hill. You well deserve this promotion.
Thank you. Thanks again. Thank you.
All right, I'll open it up for city council. You guys can stay.
Well, I guess I'll start. I just want to wish you the best. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well deserved. And good luck. We'll be calling you.
Thank you.
As Ed and he knows. But most of all is what I wish every police, and God bless you and protect you.
Thank you.
Well, I also wish you well, and I'm looking forward to that new project you want to bring here. I just know you do, where you do the DNA and you find the criminals.
Right.
I'm all for that, so. But good luck. Hope that everything goes well, and please, as always, be safe out there.
Thank you.
Congratulations, David. Definitely earned this position, and I look forward to working with you in your new role.
Thank you.
Good luck, Dave. I know you have a tremendous amount of respect from your brothers and sisters in blue, and like the mayor said, you've worn a lot of different hats, and I know this one will fit you real well.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Congratulations, Dave. Best of luck to you, and thank you for your service.
I want to thank you first for all the years you've been with us, all you've done for us, and looking forward to what you'll be doing for us in the future. I want to thank you for all your efforts, all you've done, and good luck and congratulations.
Thank you.
Could not think of a better person for the position. Thank you for being a part of Crest Hill. Thank you for being a part of the force for good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, congratulations on your promotion. All that experience you have can only benefit all of us here in Crest Hill. I look forward to working with you.
Amen. Thank you.
Godspeed.
Thank you.
Any final comments?
Other than thank you very much, you guys are so nice. That's it. We can end this.
Any of the co-workers in the back like to make any comments? No. All right. All right, congratulations, Dave.
Thanks.
All right, so we will go
Mayor, I
back.
have one more quick one.
Oh, I did forget Jacob.
Sorry, we're going to do a quick introduction while we still have a lot of our guests here. So this is our newest police officer, Joshua Cerconi. Joshua was hired sworn in on April 7th, not too long ago, and he'll be attending the police academy down at the Swick Academy down in Belleville. So we've heard very good things about him. I had a lot, our sergeant of investigations, our deputy chief, he told us that he had a lot of good things to say about the neighbors that he was around. So we're looking for good things from Josh. And so again, I want to introduce our newest officer, Joshua Cerconi, to you.
Welcome.
Okay. See, this is a difference between a brand-new officer and a 25-year officer. He's ready to talk. So, but yes, we wanted to bring him before the mayor and council and introduce him.
I mean, no offense, but you kind of look like you just graduated from DARE graduation as well.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Take the compliments.
I keep getting younger too, so.
I'll tell you which car this is so you can stop him.
That's right. That's right. Thanks again. No more hijacking the meeting from me.
Thank you.
Yes, yeah. Can you talk a little bit about your military experience?
Yeah, so I served for 3.5 years in the Army as an infantryman. I didn't deploy, but I did trainings like everyone else would. But I was stationed up in Washington State, and that's where I got married. And 4 years is next month.
Oh, you're married? You look so young.
I take the compliments. Knowing I'm aging good, that's all that matters.
Wait until you put that uniform on.
Yeah.
You'll age.
Wait until you're 67.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Welcome.
Okay. All right. We are going to now go back to the top of the agenda, and the first order of business is to conduct a public hearing for the City of Crest Hill's fiscal year 2025-2026 annual budget. I would ask for a motion.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion by Alderperson Oberlin, seconded by Alderwoman Gazal for a public hearing. Questions or comments? Roll call, Chris?
Jennifer Methvin,
Yes.
Darrell Jefferson,
Yes.
Claudia Gazal,
Yes.
Tina Oberlin.
Yes.
Mark
can hear?
Sepiti,
Yes.
Nate Albert,
Yes.
Joe Kubal,
Yes.
and Scott Dyke.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, we'll be going into public hearing at 7:24 PM.
Everyone's saying they can hear you. Ms.
Yeah.
Clerk? Nobody can hear the mayor.
I can't turn it up any higher.
Everyone's saying they can hear him.
now?
All right. I am going to turn it over to our
No?
treasurer, Glenn Conklin, and our finance director, Glenn Gerke.
And I'm going to promptly turn this over to our finance director, Mr. Glenn Gerke.
Thank you, Glenn. Appreciate that. Thank you, Mayor and council members. As already mentioned today, I'll be discussing the fiscal year 25-26 budget presentation. Okay, the purpose of the budget is, sorry, it's a little bit slow. I wasn't used to these transitions. Went faster in practice. Is an annual budget process to present the city council with a budget which best addresses the intent of how resources will be spent on behalf of the stakeholders of the city of Crest Hill. The process will verify the city maintains the current service levels to its residents, community stakeholders, and that it's allocating the necessary funding for infrastructure improvements while working within the constraints of increases in cost that have resulted from inflationary pressures and supply chain issues. The budget serves as a financial plan and operational guides and a communications device. Legal requirements. On February 26, 2023, City Council amended its ordinance to adopt sections, I'm just going to skip over that part, and Chapter 65 of the Illinois State Statutes, which provides municipalities' financial operations under the annual budget in lieu of an appropriations ordinance. State law requires that the general purpose of the local governments pass an appropriation ordinance within the first quarter of each fiscal year for the annual budget shall be adopted by the corporate authorities before the beginning of each financial year in which it applies. Okay, the budget highlights. This budget shows a combined federal budget deficit of $2.6 million, or $17,682. Again, this is the deficit. It results from us drawing from our fund balances. I want everybody to understand that. We're actually taking it from our savings account. So it's not that we're going in debt. We're paying this with our fund balances that we have previously built up over time. On January 17, 2022, the City Council voted to join the Regional Water Commission, renamed the Grand Prairie Water Commission, to provide Crest Hill with Lake Michigan water by the year 2030, sorry. As part of the joint RWC, the city will complete infrastructure projects, including water main improvements. The projects will occur over the next 6 years. Improvements will accommodate the city's infrastructure to seamlessly tap into Lake Michigan water by 2030. Total projected water sewer capital projects for fiscal year 2025-2026 are $15,030,000, of which $9,922,392 will be reimbursed through the IEPA, DCEO, and CDBG grants. The city performed water and sewer rate study to ensure that it will be able to recuperate costs associated with joining the Grand Prairie Water Commission, and this will be accomplished through water sewer rate increases that will occur over the next 6 years. Okay, this table here is an overview of a budget by general revenue. This is for the general fund operating budget. You can see the general revenues are $12.7 million. Official budget is $103,000. Police budget is $5.5 million. Streets are $1.6. Facilities is $498,000. IT is $631,000. Fleet management is $591,000. Administration is $2.1 million. Clerks is just under $250,000. Sorry. Treasurer's budget is $341,000. Community development is $983,000. Total general fund expenses is $12,756,000. This will leave us a budget surplus of $6,000. Okay, and then we go through the other budget process we have. MFT is showing a budget deficit of $19,367. And again, this is an estimate, so it's likely that we will still have a surplus. It just depends on how revenues and expenses come in during that budget period of time. Non-home rule sales tax shows a balanced budget. Water revenue, all the water expenses, including sewer treatment plant and water administration, shows a budget surplus of $2.3 million. And that is going to be used, at $2.3 million, again, when I drew off of savings for the budget deficit. This is one of those surpluses that adds to the fund balance for future budget deficits as we use to pay for the water projects. The capital replacement program, we have started that up again. We have $595,000 in revenues and expenditures of only $465,000, leaving a budget surplus of $130,000. And this will be used again to purchase future equipment that we're saving up for, like vac trucks and things like that, that cost more than what we can put in one given year. The water, sewer treatment plant capital shows a budget deficit of $2.3 million. Again, this is some of the capital projects that we're putting in place. Some of these will be used for the Grand Prairie Water Commission. Then we have our general operating fund capital expenditures, again showing a $1.5 million deficit, again completing more necessary projects for the city. The TIF budgets are both balanced. The water sewer debt is balanced as well, and the water sewer debt is paid for by our water revenues. We also have construction debt, and that's paid for by our non-home rule sales tax. So we'll get money from that and pay off that debt. The waste treatment plant rehab is, I believe it's nearing completion. Is that correct, Ron?
Yeah, next year.
Yeah, next year it's going to be completed, and so we will actually include, the expenditures include debt service. As we get reimbursed from EPA, once that's completed, the debt service payments start, and that's part of the reason for this debt deficit here. The sewer, I transferred from, let's go into the budget, garbage budget. It's balanced. Typically, the garbage has a 3.5% increase per the contract, but again, we remain balanced on that. Police pension fund shows a $19,000 surplus at current. Police special assets is again balanced, and the total revenue and expenditures for everything is a deficit of $2.6 million. Again, these are just the highlights. General fund, it shows a surplus of 6,000. Let's see. General fund expenditures. The revenue. Okay, our property tax levy is generally 50-50 split. However, this year we are putting in, per the requirement for the actuary recommended contribution, it's $1,359,021. However, we also have city ordinance number 974 that requires an additional $150,000 be contributed to the police pension fund until the fund reaches 80% funded status, at which point it is then reviewed by city council to see if they want to continue that. And I would recommend that you continue this until you're at least over 100%, because you're always hit with disability claims, which always put you back under. As that's being said, we are contributing through our pension levy $1,479,985, but we will still need to contribute $26,036 from the general fund to complete those requirements for the ARC recommended amount and $150,000. Currently, there is, regard to the salaries, there's a 4% placeholder for merit increases for all non-union employees. In the fiscal year 2026, audiovisual specialists in the police department, was not in the previous year's budget, but that's included now. Salaries for the union employees was 4%, and for the officers, it's 3.5%. Enterprise operation revenues for projected increase of 23.76%. The rate increases are required for the Grand Prairie Water Commission capital projects. Again, that's how we're funding all those water projects. Expenditures for the project expected to increase by 3.7%. Again, general fund revenues for the city is $12.7 million. This is an increase of $259,000, or around 2%. The estimated change because the fiscal year 2025 budget anticipated $200,000 in grant revenue of a DCO grant obtained by the city, and that's for the police vehicles, I believe it is, correct? And the city does receive its estimated state income tax, state use tax, motor fuel tax, and cannabis tax. These are all state taxes from the Illinois Municipal League's July 2025 estimated funding on a per capita basis. This is a look at our revenues as broken down as a percentage. I won't go through all these. I'm trying to speed this up a little bit. And again, this is a pie chart of those percentages. Same thing, but now it's in a visual format. So you can see how our revenues are broken up. So you have state income tax and state sales taxes, which are the majority, and then franchise tax, and it all breaks down to a little less there. And you can see the property taxes, which is the red, is not as big a share as what you have. So you guys have a very well-balanced source of revenue. So you're not taking it all from property taxes. There's a lot of other revenue sources, which is great. This is your historical chart. If you'd like to review this, more than welcome to, but this just shows you basically how these percentages change as your property tax revenues as a source of income. Expenditures. So again, this expenditures, again, $12.7 million, again, with a $6,000 surplus. Again, increased by 2%. $275,000. And then inflation is factored into budget, and the prices did increase, and that's what we're planning on in this budget. Many of the increased expenditures departments of the Community Development Administration were due to staffing matters. So we are increasing some staffing matters for Police Community Development Administration. And this is a pie chart, again, of our expenditures by department. Shows you a breakdown where we're at. And as you'd expect, police is the large share because, community safety is very important to the city here, as well as administration and streets. That's the vast majority of it. While we are trying to increase our community development, which helps our tax base, so that's important. And this is the historical breakdown of the same expenditures. Liquid assets, this is an important thing. This is where our cash is sitting, and this is cash. This does not include our police pension fund, as that is not a liquid asset. So you can see, as we have here, it's about $27 million that we have currently in our coffers. The motor fuel tax in the federal budget is balanced, $19,000 deficit, but that will come and go. This year, I think we have an overage, so I think that'll carry over into next year. And I won't have the final numbers on that until I break down the amended budget. Currently, the MFT capital construction is $470,000. Contractual services, $85,000. Engineering design and construction engineering is $193,000. Materials and supplies is $190,000. Total of $938,750. Non-home rule sales tax is used to fund various projects such as capital projects to the tune of $1.1 million. Our annual debt service, again, for the city, our general fund or capital projects, debt service we have is $860,000. Our property tax rebate program is $269,408, and we do have economic incentives of $50,000, totaling an amount of $2.3 million. Again, this is our water sewer treatment plant fund. Now, this is the entire fund. What I want to say here is the light green area over to the right, the larger section, that is the water revenue. The other side are the expenses between water administration, the sewer treatment plant, STP, a sewer treatment plant, sewer expenditures, and water expenditures. So you can see we are showing a budget surplus as the water revenue is greater than the expenses. But again, this will be used for future water capital projects. And this is a historical graph of the same numbers for each of the previous years. Water sewer capital projects funds created to manage capital improvements for the water sewer system. And if you need more detail than this, please ask Ron. I'm going to let him, because I don't even know what some of these things mean technically, to tell you the truth. But these are required for the projects, and I'm not an engineer, so I don't profess to be. So if you have questions, please ask our engineer. Water sewer debt. This is our water sewer debt is covered by our water sewer funds and revenue, and we are covering our debt and managing it very well. The West Plant Rehabilitation Fund, this is what Ron and I were just discussing earlier. We'll be wrapping up this year, and we will be incurring loan interest payments. That's why you see the amount at the bottom, $350,000. That's to cover our debt service. So we do have that projected in the fund already, so we cover our costs. Capital project funds, this is the non-water sewer projects. This will be for the streets, rehabs, things like that. And as we discussed in our previous instances, the last line item here is a traffic safety or signal at McGolvery and Ryan intersections for a modification of $100,000. We just added that at the last work session because we thought it was important, and that's why we did that. So it doesn't change the overall numbers. We just moved $100,000 to cover the appropriate project. Refuse, garbage. Again, the sewage garbage rates have an increase of 3.5% annually, and we bill for those services. And they're billed every 2 months. Police pension fund is participated in by the police, and they contribute 9.91%. And the city contributes a good portion of its tax levy, as well as the additional $150,000 in until it reaches 80%. And that's where the city council will then review it again and decide if they want to continue the $150,000 additional. The annual, the audited recommended contribution amount is set by our auditors every year, and they give you the recommended amount and an alternative amount, and you guys always select the recommended amount. And our current fund balance is 76.5% funded as of April 30th of last year. Conclusion, thank God. The fiscal year 2025-26 budget is a sound financial plan. You guys really do have a good, well-run city here. You have a good mix of debt, you have a good mix of fund balances, and your expenses and revenues. You are a AA rating. You will still have more than enough in reserves to keep and maintain that AA rating after all the projects are done. You guys are getting very well managed, and you should be proud of that. Does anybody have any questions?
I would like to see, you say we have a total expenditures of negative 2.6, and I would wonder if you could show me through the illustrations you just went through how we're covering that 2.6 so we won't be in a negative fund balance.
Sure, I can go to our liquid assets really quick here, and that was where I was showing that big graph, all the money you currently have. This one. As you can see, we have 9.2 million in our general fund. We have 12.2 million in our water fund. At our new market account, we have 1.2 million, and Chase has, our operating account is 4.7 million. This is as of March 31st. That's how much liquid cash you have. Now, you still have 28 million, I believe it is, for your police pension fund. But again, that's not a liquid asset, as that is a fiduciary responsibility for the police pension fund. But this is what you have. So when you total up all that, it's approximately $27 million, a little bit over that. So that's what you have. And so you do have lots of money. Again, your expenditures for your operating account are only 12 million, and your, like I said, your total expenses will definitely handle all that. Again, your reserves that you're supposed to have for a well-managed municipality is you should have at least, at the minimum, 2 months of reserves. After all our spending and everything like that, you will have 8.5 months of reserves. So the 2 months reserves is they want a minimum of 25%. You will have, after all this, 70.5% in reserves. So you are well above the minimum requirements, and that's why you have a AA rating. You actually have enough for a AAA rating if you have additional resources of revenue, and that's what we work on. So if we can get more revenue, which is what our economic development is about. So if you can increase that, we're trying to get there so you can get at least a AA plus and move on and then get to AAA, which is really difficult. That's the Napervilles of the world. So.
Right, okay, and that's true even though that date up there is March 31st?
Correct.
2024?
Correct.
So we haven't dipped into that at all?
No, not this time, no.
We have to have a cutoff date on when the data is collected. What you have is a balanced budget with a slight surplus of about $6 grand. If you think of this, the deficit, that is basically pulling out of your savings account to fund additional projects, leaving you still with a rainy day fund and some more savings and some additional money. So you're in very good, it's a very good time to utilize the money that you've saved for projects that are considered wanted or needed at this point.
I think he was questioning the year.
Is that slide
It says 20.
accurate,
Oh,
or
sorry,
is it
yes,
the
And it's
2025?
actually 25.
2025. Sorry,
Okay.
my
Well, that
fault,
was,
that's a typo.
was that not what you meant?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what,
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
that's
sorry.
what I was looking
It does
at.
fluctuate
That's a
month to
typo,
month.
my fault. It should
Call me the
be
media.
March 31st, 2024, 25, it should be 25, so.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, sorry about that, that's my bad.
I have a quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
Can we take some of that money in
What
reserve?
money?
In reserve, you said you have 8 million in reserve.
Well, it's all used for your future projects. It's actually scheduled for Ron's projects that he's doing. So when you do capital projects, there's no revenue in the capital projects generally. The only time you get revenue is when you do debt or bond financing. So the IEPA loan would be a revenue that we get in there. So as we spend the money, we get reimbursed. That's the revenue coming in, but it's really a debt that you're paying. So if you do it via cash out of your savings account, it's really taking out, the fund balance is your savings account that you're using to pay for these projects. It's like if you're at home and you want to save up for a refrigerator, you don't have the money in that one particular month to spend $2,500 or however much you want to spend on a refrigerator that month, but you save up for it, a couple $100 every month, and then that 1 month you buy it, then you spent that $2,500. You didn't, in that month, technically, you have as in this fiscal year, you'd have a budget deficit because you spent that $2,500, but you saved up for it over the course of several months or several years, whatever it is, and then you spent that money accordingly. So yes, you have $27 million sitting in your accounts now. This year, we're supposed to use approximately $6.5 million of that. Next year, we're going to use approximately $2.6 million of that. So that's about $9 million out. So that's what I was saying before in the actually the memo. I think it comes down to 17 million is what we're going to have, and that'll leave us with 8.5 months worth of revenue or expenditures that we need to cover our operational costs. That's what you have.
So I need to ask it a different way.
Okay, sure.
I understand, like you stated, we have 8 months and a half, correct?
Yeah, 8.5.
Reserve,
Okay.
but technically you're supposed to have 2 months reserve, correct?
Minimum.
Okay.
Minimum.
What is the purpose of keeping that money in reserve when we have fractured streets?
Because the reason you want to keep money in reserve is, again, because we have a lot of projects coming up. The water sewer projects for the Grand Prairie Water Commission is expensive. I think
$33 million.
Yeah, $33.5 million. You don't have that much in reserve.
So we'll be
you have-
taking that money from reserve for part of it, obviously.
Correct. The way the rate structures was set up a couple of years ago when we brought that to you was that each year the rates would be increasing, which would give us a little more than $1 million each year on top of, so that we can bank some money, so when we actually get to 2026 and 27, when we're spending that money to pay back the Grand Prairie and also to fund our capital projects, the money would be in the bank. So that's why you're seeing a large surplus in the PMA
So
water.
technically, this is for Lake Michigan. That's not, we don't have extra reserve just to have it.
We have reserve and have had for a great number of years. And that is for some of those bridges between our paying for something and getting reimbursed. It's also a source of, I think, roughly $100K or $80K in interest that we get from that.
Yep.
As well as having emergency capital in the event that we had anything with that Grand Prairie Water Commission. If that were to have any glitches, we need to utilize that to do it.
I think the best way to look at it is a dual reserve. You have the reserve that's required for the rating that you indicated, and then anything surplus of that is a reserve for the upcoming water and any other emergency. So it's in one pot, but it's really kind of a two-tier structure.
Correct. You're absolutely right on that. There is two-tier structures. So what you have in your sources of revenue, you have what's called your general fund, or what are tax expenses and revenues. Then you have your enterprise funds, which are your fee-based revenues or expenses. So meaning the fee-based revenue expenses will be for like your water, sewer, garbage. Those are billed on a monthly or bi-monthly basis. Your taxes, property tax that you have, your sales tax, your income tax that you receive from the state, those are tax-based. That goes to the general fund. General fund will be for like streets, police, administrative expenses, the building capital for here. But as far as your water, sewer, treatment plant, that all comes out of the operational side of the house. So yes, there are two different sides of the house, and you're not supposed to commingle those funds. You're supposed to keep those separate. You're supposed to keep the enterprise funds with the enterprise activities and general funds with the general activities. Now, you as city council can always override that should the need occur, but it has to be done with city council's approval. It's not something I could do or anybody else could do. Only city council can do that move. And you do that in dire straits should something happen. That's when you want.
I just wanted that to clarify because like the last budget meeting that we had, I got the question is, what is the purpose of having
Reserves.
the money? We keep saying healthy, healthy, but then there's a lot of things that we need to do.
Yep.
And I just wanted this for the public to understand. When we keep saying we have healthy reserve, what is the healthy reserve? And so technically we do, but we don't.
Yes, you do, and you do want to keep the healthy reserve. Again, the more you have in the bank, the higher your credit rating is, the lower your interest rates are when you go to borrow money.
Correct, but that money is basically, it's accountable for. It's gonna be used, most of
It
it,
is
to
gonna be
Lake
used.
Michigan, so.
Yes, we're managing it well.
So maybe that's how we need to phrase it, maybe?
What's that?
Would that make sense to phrase it like that? We have reserve because of this. Like if I have a saving, I'm saving for a house, I'm saving for a car payment, I'm saving, but that doesn't mean these are my savings for the future. This is something I'm gonna use as soon I make my goal.
Yes, I try not to lock it in because, as you know, certain things come up or changes could happen. But yes, all your fund balances are considered your reserves for whatever projects that you want to do. Yes.
Thanks for
We
clarifying
have,
it.
we have times we have high and low water marks,
Yes,
so
and it does
if
go
we're
up and down.
gauging this all on, say, March of a year, there's times when we're waiting on our levy.
Correct.
There's major events with major inflows of cash, so we also have to manage cash to where we have it, so we're not doing any unnecessary borrowing in the times that we're lower.
Correct.
And any surplus that is at the end of any fiscal year then goes back into reserves, and that's how you rebuild it.
Yes, it goes back into your fund balance, and that's what you use to pay off future projects. Yes, that's exactly correct. It's like, you have extra money left over for your budget, you just put it in your savings. That's what you're doing. So if you don't spend it, that's what I'm saying. And it does work, like what Glenn was saying, when you work out the expenditures. So I know Ron works on a lot of capital projects. Sometimes the capital project finishes on time within that fiscal year, and it's spent all out in that fiscal year. Other times, it rolls over into the next fiscal year, and that's where you'll see that, oh, we had a surplus because we didn't spend all our money in capital, but it's coming. It's just, it feels a little late, and we're gonna spend it, so it's gonna go down. That's why when I say you look at your fund balance, and we're supposed to spend $6.5 million this year in a deficit, like borrowing from that fund balance or taking from that fund balance. And next year it's only 2. But when you subtract out both of those, you're still going to have $17 million or 8.5 months of revenue.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone from the audience like to make public comment in regards to the budget? Let the record show that no one has approached the podium. Any other information, gentlemen?
I would very much like to thank Glenn for his ability to put this together in such a short notice and coming in after a gap. I'd like to also ask Glenn to thank those. He had a lot of assistance on this from all of the department heads, and he commented to me that we had some really great staff that were very helpful in putting together this, and it's a lot of work, so if you care to.
Yes, I would like to thank the staff, everybody here. Everybody had good intentions. Everybody's, all the department heads, Tony, everybody here really want to do the best by the city and make sure they got the best bang for their buck. Everybody's trying to get as many grants as we possibly can to get our best bang for our buck. Everybody came together. It's really nice to work for a municipality where the whole team comes together. It's really special, and I think you guys should be proud of that.
Well, thank you to both Glens and also to all the department heads, staff, everybody else that had anything to do with this.
Could I add one
Sure.
more thing? And this is my fault, nobody else's. I forgot to include the ordinance for the budget, so we won't be voting on that tonight. We will, I asked Tony, so if we can do a special session on this or whatever you guys want to do. But I'm sorry about that. That was my fault, my oversight.
How soon this session has to be done?
Well, technically, when I talked to, because this is my concern, I called Will County Deputy Clerk Britt, and he told me, well, technically you got till the end of May, but you're really supposed to pass it according to the law and everything by April 30th. So I would like to, if you guys could do it, pass it by April 30th. And I was hoping that maybe, I know you got a work session next Monday. I was
Yes.
hoping we could have a mini special session right before it, just take a vote on this to pass it and get everything done within the.
Would there be a
the-
special meeting?
Yes.
So sorry about that.
I'm asking for the legal definition of the meeting.
That was my fault, sorry, guys.
That would be a
That's
regular, a special regular meeting
Because we
with
have to
one
vote.
agenda item, then move on to the work session.
Correct. Just wanted that clarified. Thank you, Counselor.
So there'll be two separate meetings that night.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I would ask for a motion to close the public hearing
So
at
moved.
7:57
Second.
PM. Motion by Alderperson Oberlin, seconded by Alderman Albert for closing the public hearing at 7:57. Roll call, please, Chris.
Darrell Jefferson,
Yes.
Claudia Gazal.
Yes.
Tina Oberlin.
Yes.
Mark Sepiti.
Yes.
Nate Albert.
Yes.
Joe Kubal.
Yes.
Scott Dyke.
Yes.
And Jennifer Methvin.
Yes.
Motion carries, thank you.
Okay. Then we will move right along to agenda item number 2, and we have to conduct this is a public meeting for the MS4 annual update. I would ask for a motion. No motion? Okay. I will turn it over to both Ron Wiedemann, our city engineer, and Julius Hansen, our public works director, for comment. Gentlemen?
Thank you, Mayor. This is our annual, we'll call it refresher for MS4 every year. We need to come and inform council and the public of our efforts in compliance with the MF4 or stormwater quality permit that the city has. There's basically 6 items that the city is responsible for every year. Every 5 years, this permit gets renewed. Right now, we're getting ready to renew, right? Yeah, we're getting ready to renew for a new renewal period for 5 years. So as shown in the memo, first item that we must do is public outreach and education on stormwater quality issues. One example that we do every year is we put things out on the website, ideas of, how to keep our water clean, things like that. I believe we also do publishing on the Facebook also. So that's done yearly. Actually, it's probably done every couple months. Ada will post something, so there's always something out there. Public involvement and participation, obviously the meeting we have here today is one way that we do it. Illicit discharge detection elimination, the city has a pre-treatment program that is monitored every year. Construction site and stormwater runoff control. Basically, we perform inspections on all of our construction sites before and after rain events. We also inspect developments and make sure that they're in compliance. And they do the inspection report, send those in, and we review those. Pollution prevention and good housekeeping for municipalities is the last one. Basically, things like that is Public Works, sweeps our streets, clean our catch basins, items like that, just maintenance items. That is something that Public Works does every year. They have a plan. It's in the budget that was just presented to you, a lot of these different work efforts. Just to kind of go quickly, what does NPDES stand for? It stands for National Pollution Discharge Elimination System. Why is it important? It's important because it's part of the Clean Water Act. Municipalities make a great positive difference in stormwater quality through their decisions with land use and planning, as well as the public works operations. Water pollution degrades surface water, making it unsafe to drink, fish, swim, or do other activities. So that's why this program is very important, to try to keep our stormwater as clean as possible. MS4, what that stands for is a municipal separate storm sewer permit. Basically, it is a permit on our items that convey stormwater through ditches, storm sewers, and at outfalls.
and we're responsible to maintain those, keep them up to date, and we do yearly inspections on our major outfalls. All the other outfalls are looked at more of every 3 to 4 years. We just want to make sure they're in good operating shape. And basically, what is the listed discharge? A listed discharge is any discharge into the storm sewer system that is not entirely composed of storm water. This includes yard care products, fertilizers, dog waste, car soaps, automotive fluids. Those are the type of things that we'd like to keep out of the system. Even the guy written in here, you know, some exceptions are discharge from high flushing, dechlorination for swimming pool and firefighting events. Those are the type of items that are not part of this. Obviously, with the firefighting, it's an emergency nature, so that's, you know, whatever happens during that event, it's really not controlled. If anybody in the public sees somebody doing something, dumping oil or anything that looks suspicious, please reach out to Public Works immediately. 815-741-5108 is their number, and report that so that an investigation can be done. That's all I really have. If there's any questions by council or anybody in the public.
Any questions from council? Any questions from the public? Okay, this was all for informational purposes. No action needs to be taken. All right, thanks, Ron. Moving on to the minutes. First, we have before you the approval of the minutes of the work session, which was held on March 31st, 2025. Motion would be in order for approval.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderwoman Gazal, seconded by Alderwoman Methvin for the approval of the work session minutes of March 31st, 2025. Questions or comments? Roll call, Chris.
Tina Oberlin,
Yes.
Mark Sepiti,
Yes.
Nate Albert,
Yes.
Joe Kubal,
Yes.
Scott Dyke,
Yes.
Jennifer Methvin,
Yes.
Darrell Jefferson,
Yes.
and Claudia Gazal.
Yes.
Motion carries, thank you.
Okay, then you have before you the minutes of the special work session, which was held on April 8th, 2025. Motion for approval would be in order.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Jefferson, seconded by Alderwoman Gazal for the approval of the minutes of the special work session held on April 8th, 2025. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Mark Sepiti,
Yes.
Nate Albert,
Yes.
Joe Kubal,
Yes.
Scott Dyke,
Yes.
Jennifer Methvin,
Abstain.
Darrell Jefferson,
Yes.
Claudia Gazal.
Yes.
And Tina Oberlin.
Yes.
Motion carries, thank you.
And I'd ask for a motion for an approval of the minutes of the special work session held on April 15th, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Alderperson Oberlin, seconded by Alderman Jefferson for the approval of the minutes of the special work session held on April 15th, 2025. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Claudia Gazal.
Yes.
Tina Oberlin.
Yes.
Mark Sepiti.
Yes.
Nate Albert,
Yes.
Joe Kubal,
Yes.
Scott Dyke,
Yes.
Jennifer Methvin,
Abstain.
and Darrell Jefferson.
Yes.
Motion carries, thank you.
Okay, to our city attorney, Mike Stiff. Good evening, Mike.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I have no agenda items. Certainly willing to field any questions.
Questions of city attorney? All right, thanks, Mike.
Well, we will have an executive session later, but we'll get there when we get there.
All right, to our city administrator, Tony Graff. Tony?
I have my memo. What I'd like to do is I'd like to, Patrick is here, and the first 4 items are all about community development. I'll have Patrick take the lead.
Thank you, Tony. The first item on the memo from Tony is this Thursday we'll have a special meeting for the Hendrickson facility on Keaton Farm Road. They're doing a solar array that'll power their facility. They're actually getting a grant from the state of Illinois, so they're kind of on a time crunch. We're, again, trying to do a business-friendly approach here. So they're on a special meeting for Thursday, the 24th. It's a special use for the solar array, and they're asking for a variation for that. Second item, a lot of people have seen some dirt moving, which is a good thing, on Rustway and Weber Road. That's for a grading permit that was issued for a 16,000 square foot light industrial building. Progress we'll be making throughout the springtime, and we're expecting those building permits to come in soon for the actual structure. The Finance Department and Community Development are working closely together on the annual TIF reports. So last year, the TIF reports come after the audit. The TIF reports were filed. Thank you, Glenn, for your team working on that. And the actual JRB will be here in this room a week from Tuesday, April 29th at 2 p.m. And everyone is welcome from the public. The fourth item is with City Administrator approval, I will be attending the biggest conference for retail attraction, restaurant attraction, development attraction. It is called ICSC Las Vegas. It used to be called ICSC Recon, the retail convention. This is the show where people get out into the national stage, meet with people. I've already sent out emails to about 50 developers, retailers, restaurateurs, and actual end users trying to attract new businesses to Crest Hill. I need to be clear, it's not like you just go and sign on the dotted line. This is relationship building, it takes time. But with all the exciting things going on in the region and here locally, we're looking to bring in new development, especially on Weber Road and the Division area. So that is, technically it starts on Saturday, but I booked an early flight for Sunday morning and then returning on Tuesday. So happy to answer any questions on those 4 items.
What did you say about the 29th?
The annual joint review board for the TIF districts, that's our annual meeting. It's the JRB, is the acronym.
What time is it at?
It starts at 2.
Okay, because we have a work session that night, that's why I was asking.
Yes, thank you. We checked with the clerk's office to make sure that room is available.
Thank you.
No other questions? I'll continue with my report. Stateville, there was no new information in regards to anything going on with Stateville. We have all the information together, preparing the letter to go to BL Duke. Also, as part of that letter will be an invoice requesting for reimbursement for the cost of the water and also water main breaks and our staff time that was out there doing all that work. Job announcements. Tonight we have a candidate in front of you asking to appoint for the full-time building inspector. We did get confirmation from HR that his background is totally complete along with physical. So we're a go, Mayor, to appoint him tonight. GovHR, pretty much up to date on the recruitment. We're going to be doing the next round of interviews tomorrow and then also on the 29th for the candidates. Director of Public Works, the announcement has gone out. There is one change. We decided not to advertise in the IML. That was my mistake I put down there. It's actually the Illinois City Managers and County Association. Dave felt there was more opportunities to look for recruitment in that association newsletters. So that was added. And then we also sent it out to the American Public Works Association too. We are advertising for seasonal help, part-time. That's been out there. Has a posted date for closing on April 30th. I do know we have at least 2 or 3 of the workers from last year that we did invite them to apply. It's the easiest way to put it. And hopefully they do. We're out for recruitment. Water meter replacement, again, it's going to be an ongoing project. We are going to be bringing you the ordinance talking about the penalty when we go to manual reads. So if they don't replace get with us, make the appointments for the water meter to get replaced. The manual read is going to cost them $50 a billing cycle until they get their meter replaced. We noticed that's been done in other communities. It seems to be a little bit more successful to get people to call you. So you'll be seeing that ordinance in the next couple of weeks. Place reading tax. We still got some delinquent businesses. The building department has put together documents and records for the penalties that have been applied. And Glenn and myself are putting together documents in regards to the visits we've made with businesses so that Attorney Stiff could prepare a civil complaint to file with businesses that have failed to pay taxes. The West Treatment Plant, we're at 60% complete. Tell us that everything's going okay. There was a There is a project meeting every Thursday, I believe. There's no indication that we're having a shortage of materials or supplies, mainly because we're about 60% done of the operations. So everything's been either delivered or it's being installed there. But it's something we're watching to see if there's going to be a short supply list coming up. Training, we had 2 employees attend the water conference in Peoria. That's been every year. We've sent out employees. We did have a DPW employee, John Kemp, successfully passed his Class B water license test. So we'll be working on his duties and task to be our operator in charge for water because of our retirement. So it's good timing for an employee to get that test and pass it successfully. The crime lab, they're just waiting for the reporting time for the EPA 402, which is basically a conservation assessment and review that goes out to about 60 different organizations to see if this project is going to have any impact to the environment in the area. So as soon as that permit can be reviewed, they said the next thing is that engineers will be having a meeting with us to talk about utilities and infrastructure. I still believe they're going to try to get the project started sometime in this summer. The website, our current provider for website, we've been having meetings, Teams meetings. We're hoping to get a proposal from them in regards to the redesign, what's that going to cost us. Part of it is in the cost of our subscription with Civic Plus. The second item that we're working on is we need to be ADA compliant for our website by 2027. So they do provide that service. So they'll assess our website. What they felt the best thing to do is to do that after we get the design started, so we're not doing it twice. They do offer that as part of the subscription cost. The third thing is we're working with the building department and finance department in regards to get online payments to get started. Civic Plus does offer that service, and we'll be having a meeting. Glenn wants to make sure there's, if there possibly could be another company that's currently in our system with Gazelle, so we're not duplicating services. But right now, we don't have online payments at the building department, and they get asked all the time, can we pay for our fee online? It's going to be really, one of the best parts that they're saying is when we get the rental registration, it'd be nice to be able to have them sign online for that and pay that fee. So as soon as we get some templates and concept updates for our site, we'll forward them out to the council for feedback, and we'll do a presentation, hopefully in the next 30 to 60 days, of some of the ideas. If you got any ideas at all, if you see a good website out there, forward it over. We'd like to, for our staff meetings, we'd like to look at other locations, other cities. One of the ones that they said that they just finished that was pretty comprehensive is Carbondale, city of Carbondale, a lot bigger. That's a university, so the creativity is probably flowing down to Carbondale. But it's a really, really interesting site, easy to navigate through, a lot of buttons, but you don't jump off the website, where a lot of times when you press a button, you'll go off the website and you have to re-enter your password to get on. So we're looking at that, and not that we want to be that high end, but there's a lot of good things in there that we tell them we'd like to have. And I'll have a proposal of what this might cost us to redesign. I do know that they've been telling me it's going to be under $20,000. And when you talk to other managers, Civic Plus is one of the best ones that a lot of cities use. If you go on their website, you'll see on the bottom Civic Plus. So, and the ADA thing is important for us to get compliant. Nothing else on my report.
Any questions of city administrator?
I had a question, Tony, regarding the water meter replacement project.
Yes.
It says here, non-compliance property owner appointments are progressing. How many are still remaining non-compliant?
There's still about, I think we were at 62 homes or services that haven't complied yet with our letters, contacts.
And I
that we
know
made.
that's been an ongoing effort,
Yeah.
so it doesn't appear that any more are gonna have the meter replaced. So you mentioned a fee would be imposed if a manual read would have to be done?
Yes,
Have the property owners been made aware of that this will happen if they don't have it replaced?
correct. Well, we'll get you the draft ordinance first. If you're in agreement, we're then going to move forward, and then, we'll have draft letters that'll go to those
Okay.
homes that are not in compliance, and then we show a copy of the approved ordinance.
I'm just interested in how we're gonna enforce that, as far as they don't get the meter replaced, we impose a $50 fine or whatever.
Yeah,
What are the consequences? Will there ever be a point where water can be shut off for
Well,
not paying?
if they don't pay their bill, like if they deduct $50 from their bill, that's not paying your bill. So then our shut off would be allowed.
Just, yeah, I'm just, anticipating steps to follow and make sure that we're ready and when we're actually able to follow through on these to get the compliance where we've
We're
been
gonna try our
trying to
best to
get.
try to communicate and talk to the residents when they get that bill, to let them know your $50 is there. We'd like to install this $50 fee when we're ready to go to monthly readings. But if we're still having a challenge with the monthly readings, getting everything up to date with Cassell, and then switching that over for the staff. So we're looking at $50 to be a per month fee, per reading, but we gotta get legal to sort of agree with us on that, because it's really per reading. So then maybe we should have a $100 fee, because we're reading them every 2 months. But we'll have the options when we present the ordinance in the next couple of weeks.
Do you think it would be at all beneficial to maybe send out a notice to the addresses involved that have not changed, letting them know that this is going to be coming soon if they don't do that, and perhaps that might induce some of them to get it done?
Yes, that would be a good idea. Yeah, we'll send them a sort of a shot across the bow saying, we're looking at an
Right,
ordinance.
this is what we're gonna be doing
Yeah.
if you don't get this done, and perhaps some will go into compliance with just the thought of that extra $50 per month.
Yeah, we got a few of them when we did the incentive program, but it's only a few.
Well, if you get a
And
few more.
we get a few of this. Every 5 or 10 we get, it's gonna help.
Just the cost of a letter.
Yeah, that's all.
And I haven't started writing the ordinance yet, so perhaps, can we do a straw vote today that says, it's not on the agenda, but or just a voice vote? Is anybody on the council against a $50 or $100 fine for manual reads, that the letter can then say the city council has not voted on it yet, but they will be approving? That way we know that we can send that out notifying them that the council's in favor of it. It just hasn't been drafted yet, and then maybe if they comply and we don't have to draft the ordinance, that
Excuse me, Mike.
saves some money.
I would like to change that word from fine to a fee. Rather than a fine, this is gonna be a fee that you're gonna pay for a manual read, as you were causing somebody else to go out to that site to actually do the read as opposed to a fine.
Yeah, the letter should say fee. The ordinance will say fee. I haven't drafted the ordinance yet, so.
Fee, I will make a motion with the fee word.
So everybody seems to be in favor of it, so then I think that the letter should go out to those water customers advising them that the city council in May will be considering this ordinance, and to save them some money, they should comply.
There we go. All good steps. Thank you.
Oh, Tony, I have one question. The summer help program?
Yes.
I did see that email a couple of weeks back, but could you forward me that information, please?
Oh, the announcements for the summer help?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, thanks, Tony. Moving on to Public Works Department, Julius Hanson. Julius?
Yes, at the last workshop, we discussed the contractual services for having a wastewater COIRC, and we are here tonight, Public Works, recommending that the company test Inc. from Peru, Illinois, be the contractor that helps the city do that work. So we're here to approve the proposal from Test Inc. of Peru, Illinois for an annual amount not to exceed $100,000.
Motion would be in order.
And it's actually a resolution.
Resolution? Motion?
Second.
Motion by Alderman Albert, seconded by Alderwoman Methvin for a resolution approving a proposal for consultant services by and between the City of Crest Hill, Will County, Illinois, and Total Environment Services Technologies Incorporated. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Joe Kubal,
Yes.
Scott Dyke.
Yes.
Jennifer Methvin.
Yes.
Darrell Jefferson,
Yes.
Claudia Gazal.
Yes.
Tina Oberlin.
Yes.
Mark Sepiti.
Yes.
And Nate Albert.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution 1295.
Public Works also here for talking about the West Sewage Treatment Plant at the workshop last Monday. We had approval for pay request number 27 from Visring Construction, Inc., with direction to send it to the IEPA for approval and disbursement for a total amount of $1,076,112.10.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Alderwoman Gazal, seconded by Alderwoman Methvin to approve pay request number 27 from Visring Construction with direction to send it to the IEPA for approval and disbursement for a total amount of $1,076,112.10. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Nate Albert.
Yes.
Joe Kubal,
Yes.
Scott Dyke.
Yes.
Jennifer Methvin.
Yes.
Darrell Jefferson.
Yes.
Claudia Gazal.
Yes.
Tina Oberlin.
Yes.
And Mark Sepiti.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, any questions of Public Works? All right, thanks, Julius. Moving on to our city engineer, Ron Wiedemann. Good evening, Ron.
Thank you, Mayor. Just have a couple items. First, I'm looking for motion to approve the mayor to execute the MFT forms for resolution for maintenance under Illinois Highway Code. The estimate of maintenance costs and the maintenance engineering to be performed by a consultant for the 2025-2026 MFT program as included in the city budget presentation that Glenn gave earlier today.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Alderperson Oberlin, seconded by Alderman Albert, to approve the mayor to execute the MFT forms for resolutions for maintenance under the Illinois Highway Code, estimate of maintenance costs and maintenance engineering to be performed by a consulting engineer for the 2025-2026 MFT program as included in the 2025-2026 city budget. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Scott Dyke.
Yes.
Jennifer Methvin.
Yes.
Darrell Jefferson.
Yes.
Claudia Gazal.
Yes.
Tina Oberlin.
Yes.
Mark Sepiti.
Yes.
Nate Albert.
Yes.
And Joe Kubal.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution 1296.
The next item is a motion to approve a resolution approving an engagement letter with Chapman and Cutler LLP in the amount of not to exceed $45,000 for funding through the Water Pollution Control Loan Program administered by the Illinois EPA for certain capital projects required for the city's conversion to Lake Michigan water. And this was discussed at the last workshop.
So moved as presented.
Second.
Motion by Alderperson Oberlin, seconded by Alderman Dyke, to approve a resolution approving an engagement letter with Chapman and Cutler LLP in an amount not to exceed $45,000 for funding through the Water Pollution Control Loan Program administered by the Illinois IEPA of certain capital projects required for the city's conversion to Lake Michigan water. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Mayor, I just have one comment. It's part of the resolution, and we keep referring to our deep wells in the city. We don't have deep wells, we have shallow.
We have shallow wells.
It's in the fourth paragraph. I don't know if it makes a difference, but
And what letter is it in?
in the resolution, the fourth whereas.
Right in the middle of the page.
Can we make that amendment to take
Certainly
that
can
out?
take that out.
Yes, I will amend my motion to have that say shallow wells.
Same for my second.
Okay, we have amendment to the motioner and to the second. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Jennifer Methvin,
Yes.
Darrell Jefferson,
Yes.
Claudia Gazal,
Yes.
Tina Oberlin,
Yes.
Mark Sepiti,
Yes.
Nate Albert,
Yes.
Joe Kubal,
Yes.
Scott Dyke.
Yes.
Motion carries resolution 1297.
And that's all I have, unless there's any questions.
Okay, any questions of city engineer? All right, thanks, Ron. Moving on to community and economic development, Patrick Ainsworth. Patrick?
Thank you, Mayor. Item number 10 is a resolution to approve the appointment of Adam Crosset to the position of full-time building inspector for the city of Crest Hill effective for May 5th, 2025, and a starting salary of $72,000. We did go through a competitive interview process. Don Seaman, our building commissioner, and I interviewed him. Actually went through 2 rounds of interviews, very impressive. His resume is attached, and happy to answer any questions on his resume, candidacy, and appointment.
Motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Albert, seconded by Alderwoman Methvin for a resolution approving the appointment of Adam Crosset to the position of full-time building inspector for the city of Crest Hill effective May 5th, 2025, and setting the initial salary for Adam Crosset. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Darrell Jefferson,
Yes.
Claudia Gazal,
Yes.
Tina Oberlin.
Yes.
Mark Sepiti,
Yes.
Nate Albert.
Yes.
Joe Kubal,
Yes.
Scott Dyke.
Yes.
And Jennifer Methvin.
Yes.
Motion carries resolution 1298.
Would you like me to go over number 11? Number 11 on the agenda item tonight is a resolution to authorize the execution of a First Amendment to the contract for purchase of real estate dated July 15, 2024, by and between the city of Crest Hill and Quick Trip Corporation for the purchase of property located at 1610 Plainfield Road, Crest Hill, Illinois. This item was on the workshop agenda last week. All items have remained the same. The applicant is here if there's any additional questions, and I'm happy to take any questions as well.
Hi, good evening. I have no additional information to present aside what was discussed last week, but happy to answer any additional questions you all might have.
Any questions from council?
If you can only explain to the resident, because this is televised, what is it exactly you're looking for?
An amendment to the contract to allow Quick Trip for 90 additional days of due diligence to continue our work with IDOT for access on Plainfield Road.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, I would ask for a motion.
So moved as presented.
Second.
We have motion by Alderperson Oberlin, seconded by Alderman Jefferson. Approval of a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of a First Amendment to contract for purchase of real estate dated July 15, 2024, by and between the city of Crest Hill and Quick Trip Corporation for the purchase of property located at 1610 Plainfield Road, Crest Hill, Illinois. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Claudia Gazal,
Yes.
pardon?
Yes.
Thank you. Tina Oberlin.
Yes.
Mark Sepiti.
Yes.
Nate Albert.
Yes.
Joe Kubal,
Yes.
Scott Dyke.
Yes.
Jennifer Methvin.
Yes.
And Darrell Jefferson.
Yes.
Motion carries resolution 1299.
Okay, we're all set. Thank you. Anything else, Pat?
No, but I'm happy to take any questions if there's anything from the council.
Any questions of economic development?
Yes, I have a couple. Any new news on the Oakland Avenue bus lot?
Yes, we sent a letter after doing an inspection requesting to meet with them. We have, we're giving them 30 days to meet with us and go over next steps. We do know they are inoperable vehicles, so we've acknowledged that, we've defined it. I've worked with the city's attorney's office to help craft that letter.
All right. Also, another thing, I don't know if I talked to you on that, or I had brought up about on Weber Road, the 3 vacant properties that are there. And one of them I just saw got a for sale sign. What's going on with the other 2?
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. And Council Alderman Nate Albert brought that to my attention last week, so I looked into that. We're certainly going to look into that property. It is unincorporated property. The house to the north is unincorporated. The good news is that there is interest in that area to bring development. It's high level, nothing on paper yet. We're having initial discussions, and the goal obviously is to
improve that area, bring water, sewer, jobs, new businesses to that neighborhood, to that part of unincorporated Crest Hill. So I'm happy to take any more specific questions if we want. We can chat tomorrow if you want. I can get more insights on that.
Okay, then one other, on Broadway, Route 53, there's an abandoned house here, it's been empty for a long time. It's on the state's property. Is there anything we can do about getting that demolished or taken down? There's windows broken out of it.
Do you have a specific address or?
I don't have an address, it's after the IDOT building.
To the north?
Yeah, it's going north from Caton Farm. It's on the west side of the street, so yeah, it's state property. It was one of the houses they used at one time, I believe. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Pat. Police Department, we already took care of everything for Police Department. Moving on to the mayor's report. I have 5 commissioners whose terms expire on May 1st, 2025. We vetted these last week at the work session, so the first one is for the reappointment of John Stanton to the Plan Commission. John has agreed to serve another 3-year term on the Plan Commission, which will expire on May 1st, 2028, and John will be serving his 5th 3-year term. I would ask for a motion for
So
approval.
moved as presented.
Second.
Motion by Alderperson Oberlin, seconded by Alderman Albert, to approve John Stanton to another 3-year term on the Crest Hill Plan Commission with an expiration date of May 1, 2028. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Joe Kubal,
Yes.
Scott Dyke,
Yes.
Jennifer Methvin,
Yes.
Darrell Jefferson,
Yes.
Claudia Gazal,
Yes.
Tina Oberlin,
Yes.
Mark Sepiti,
Yes.
and Nate Albert.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, second one for Plan Commission reappointment is Jeff Peterson. Jeff was appointed to the Crest Hill Plan Commission on May 17, 2021. He has agreed to serve a 3-year term that will expire on May 1st, 2028. I ask for concurrence for his reappointment.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Alderwoman Methvin, seconded by Alderman Albert for the approval of reappointment of Jeff Peterson to a 3-year term to expire on May 1st, 2028. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Mark Sepiti,
Yes.
Nate Albert,
Yes.
Joe Kubal,
Yes.
Scott Dyke,
Yes.
Jennifer Methvin,
Yes.
Darrell Jefferson,
Yes.
Claudia Gazal,
Yes.
and Tina Oberlin.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to the Civil Service Commission, we have Frank Blasky has agreed to serve another 3-year term on the Civil Service Commission, which will expire on May 1, 2028. Frank was appointed in 2018 and will be serving his 3rd 3-year term. I would ask for concurrence for his reappointment.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Albert, seconded by Alderman Methvin for the approval of Frank Blasky to serve another 3-year term on Civil Service Commission that will expire on May 1, 2028. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Tina Oberlin.
Yes.
Mark Sepiti,
Yes.
Nate Albert,
Yes.
Joe Kubal,
Yes.
Scott Dyke,
Yes.
Jennifer Methvin,
Yes.
Darrell Jefferson,
Yes.
Claudia Gazal.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, the next 2 reappointments are for Deputy Liquor Commissioners. These go with the term of the mayor. First one is for Mike Gale. He has agreed to serve another 4-year term as Deputy Liquor Commissioner, which will expire on May 7, 2029. And Mike has been serving for the past 16 years. I ask for concurrence for his reappointment.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Alderwoman Methvin, seconded by Alderwoman Gazal for the approval of Mike Gale to serve another 4-year term as Deputy Liquor Commissioner, which will expire May 7, 2029. Questions or comments?
Yeah, Mayor, just a comment. I have the utmost respect for Mike Gale, but as I've done in the past, I will not be voting in favor of this. I feel as though it should be a resident of the city of Crest Hill in this position.
Okay.
I also agree with Alderman Albert on this. It's time to go on. We have Dave Stengel, who's a resident. I think we need to have another resident on this board.
I agree.
I agree as well.
I wish those comments would have been made last week, but I will tell you that Mike has served for 16 years and lived in the city for over 40 years, so I think he's more than qualified, and him and Dave Stangley do work very well together. So we'll take a roll call, Chris?
Does he live in Crest Hill now?
He does not now, no.
Okay.
Nate Albert,
No.
Joe Kubal,
Yes.
Scott Dyke,
No.
Jennifer Methvin,
Yes.
Darrell Jefferson,
No.
Claudia Gazal,
Yes.
Tina Oberlin.
No.
Mark Sepiti.
No.
Motion fails 5 to 3.
Okay, you have before you you have Dave Stangley, who's agreed to serve another 4-year term as Deputy Liquor Commissioner, which will expire on May 7, 2029. He has served since January 21st, 2019. I would ask for concurrence for reappointment.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Albert, seconded by Alderwoman Methvin, for Dave Stangley to be reappointed Deputy Liquor Commissioner, which will expire on May 7, 2029. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Scott Dyke,
Yes.
Jennifer Methvin.
Yes.
Darrell Jefferson.
Yes.
Claudia Gazal.
Yes.
Tina Oberlin.
Yes.
Mark Sepiti.
Yes.
Nate Albert.
Yes.
And Joe Kubal.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, that is all under the mayor's report. We will be having our annual Memorial Day program on May 26th, Monday, May 26th, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Our guest speaker this year is going to be Mr. Tony Ariano from Cantigny Post 367, and he is a frequent at Post 1080 also. We will be having Frankfurt Brass Band as our musical entertainment. There will be refreshments served after the program. We will be honoring our veterans and our slain police officers for their sacrifice and service to their country and to our city. So I would ask for everybody to please try to attend that ceremony, as it is a very solemn ceremony on Memorial Day 2025. Any questions of the mayor? Moving on to our city clerk's report. Our city clerk, Christine Verche Hall. Chris?
Thank you and good evening. The only thing I have to report is our citywide garage sale will be running from May 15th through Sunday, May 18th. There is a $5 permit fee that could be purchased through the clerk's office. The deadline to have your address put on the list is 5/13. And that's all I have to report.
Okay, any questions of city clerk? All right, thanks, Chris. Moving on to our city treasurer, Glenn Conklin. Glenn?
Good. Jumped the gun there. Good evening,
Yeah.
Mayor and Council. Tonight, I seek your approval on our list of bills issued through April 21st, 2025, in the amount of $1,402,360.27.
So moved as presented.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderperson Oberlin, seconded by Alderman Dyke for the approval of the list of bills. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Jennifer Methvin,
Yes.
Darrell Jefferson,
Yes.
Claudia Gazal,
Yes.
Tina Oberlin,
Yes.
Mark Sepiti.
Yes.
Nate Albert.
Yes.
Joe Kubal,
Yes.
and Scott Dyke.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you all for that. I'm just in reporting our regular and overtime payroll from March 24th, 2025 through April 6th of the same year, total $251,440.24. Additionally, we had a quarterly compensation time buyback for the period of February 1st, 2025 through April 30th, 2025, which totaled $18,173.10. That's all I have for this evening, unless anyone has any questions.
Questions of the treasurer? All right, thanks, Glenn.
Thank you.
Unfinished business, we have nothing. Anybody? New business? Committee liaison reports? City council comments, positive city council comments, anything you'd like to share with your constituents? We'll begin with Alderman Kubal.
Nothing at this time, Mayor.
Alderman Albert?
Nothing at this time, right?
Alderman Sapiti?
Nothing at this time.
Alderperson Oberlin?
Well, tomorrow is Earth Day. And for those of you who don't know what that's about, it's a celebration that was done 55 years ago in order to preserve the ecology of the earth and to maintain people's awareness. And I was myself a young lass at Cheney Mungie School, and my science teacher, Mr. Manning, thought it would be a great idea if we went on a field trip that day, which consisted of the entire class walking the city of Crest Hill and picking up trash. So it had a profound effect on me, and I remember to this day, all these decades later, at how ahead of the time he was in getting that out there. And it affected my whole life. It made me very aware of everything from carbon footprint to using recyclable bags at the grocery store. And it did end that year. That's how the EP, the Environmental Protection Agency, was formed that year. And it had a hand in the whole Earth Day promotion. So I want everybody to, stop and think about that. And the next time you're thinking it'd be okay to throw something on the ground or to litter, or next time you go to the grocery store, maybe invest in reusable bags. Do whatever you can do to help our planet. Thank you.
Alderwoman Gazal.
Nothing at this time.
Alderman Jefferson.
Nothing.
Alderwoman Methvin.
Nothing at this time.
Alderman Dyke.
Nothing at this time, Mayor.
Okay, public comment. Anybody wish to address city council, please step to the podium, state your name for the record. Address is optional. Let the record show no one has approached the podium. To our city attorney, Mike, there is a need for an executive session.
Yes, there is, under 5 ILCS 122C11, litigation when an action against, affecting, or on behalf of the public body has been filed and is pending in a court or administrative tribunal, or when the public body finds that an action is probable or imminent.
So moved as presented.
Second.
Motion by Alderperson Oberlin, seconded by Alderwoman Gazal to go in executive session for 2C11 at 8:43 PM. To our city clerk.
Darrell Jefferson,
Yes.
Claudia Gazal.
Yes.
Tina Oberlin.
Yes.
Mark Sepiti.
Yes.
Nate Albert,
Yes.
Joe Kubal,
Yes.
Scott Dyke,
Yes.
and Jennifer Methvin.
Yes.
Motion carries, thank you.